Today we discuss NBA. We also talk about Transformers, and Jerry Jones takes a stand where everybody else wants to knee. This is Downright Sports. Hello. Welcome everybody to an all new Downright Sports. And if you've never watched before, I am your host, Brent Reed. This is a web series that is a sports show from a sports fan's perspective. Everything is from a fan's perspective. All research is done by a fan. All opinions is done by a fan. So if you're a fan of sports, guess what? This show is for you. But we start every show with none other than the must-know news. And we kick it off with, I don't know, with a smile on my face, because the Red Sox have fired their manager of 5 years, John Farrell. Farrell has also won a World Series with this team in just 2013, but they are parting ways after winning the division this year, but losing in the first round to the Houston Astros in 4 games. I didn't hear why they let Farrell go, but I just have to assume the team is moving in another direction, which turmoil in Boston is very good for me, because I'm a Yankee fan. In other news, the NFL owners are taking a stand. After about 2 weeks ago, the owners showed that they were together with their players. They either locked arms or took a knee or whatever they used at the time to show that they were united after the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and I quote, called the players a bunch of sons of bitches and should be fired by the owners for taking a knee. Well, ownership is starting to see a dip in its pockets. The NFL viewership has been down. The people who subscribe for the NFL package via DirecTV has been canceled. The numbers are coming out more and more, and it has to do with the need of the national anthem. I don't know what that's to do with the play on the field, but hey, whatever. Anyway, owners like Jerry Jones has said if his players decide to take a knee, they need to go find a new job. With that being said, the National Union National Labor Union is currently right now not so happy with that, and they're going to pick a fight with Jerry Jones. So you thought trying to win on the football field was tough, Jerry. Don't pick a fight with the union. And then finally, my favorite sport, soccer. Yes, America's pastime. We lost, and I was joking. Soccer is not America's pastime, but we lost to some team, and Tobago, something. Anyway, we're not going to the World Cup for the first time since like 1986. I don't think anybody really cares, because the men's team is the WNBA version of soccer, while the women's team is the NBA version of soccer. So we really just root for the women's team. Here it goes across the screen. Trinidad and Tobago. We lost to Trinidad and Tobago. So anyway, when we come back, the topic, and it is the NBA season. And this is Downright Sports, and I am Brent Reed. And why am I yelling? I don't know. Let's go. Remember when NBC used to do the NBA games, and you would see Jordan come down and he would kick it, and like it'd be like Charles Barkley or something, and Shaq would always finish with a big dunk. But that's my NBA. I don't like the ESPN's one. It's kind of lame. It's like rewind that back for Tim. Anyway, this is the topic, and today's topic happens to be the NBA preview, which is starting to become something I like to do. I've done an NBA preview show, I think, twice so far, but last year was the year I proclaimed Russell Westbrook will be the league MVP. Last year, I feel very good about that because I said he was just going to lose it and pretty much just go berserk on the league. But that's a bit different this year. I did my research as I do all the time, and I tried to see if there was an easy road to the finals, there was an easy road to the MVP award, if this season was going to have more, was going to be a little more wide open. And I don't think so. We start with last year a little bit to give you a recap. Last NBA season was kind of a little bit of the same as some years before. The only difference is the Boston Celtics shocked the world as they won the East. It didn't matter because the Cavaliers took a break. Out West, Golden State was still Golden State. Spurs were great. Houston was better. They bounced back after the year they had before. The Jazz finished in fourth. They had a fantastic season. The Clippers were mediocre. Despite losing Kevin Durant, the Thunder were much better, and then so on and so forth. So with that being said, and then last year, of course, the NBA champions were Golden State in 5. So with that being said, this season, where does that leave us? So we had some moves that were made. The Clippers parted ways with Chris Paul as they traded him to Houston. The New York Knicks parted ways with Carmelo Anthony as they traded him to OKC. The Cavaliers parted ways with Kyrie Irving as they sent him to Boston for Isaiah Thomas. And then they went and signed Dwayne Wade. And then, not for me to forget, the Minnesota Timberwolves went out and got Jimmy Butler. So teams on paper have gotten better. With that said, whom are the better teams this year? Who are the teams that's going to shock the world? So, of course, as I always do, I have teams to watch. So the teams I have to watch this year: Washington Wizards, the Milwaukee Bucks, Houston Rockets, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, just because I have them as teams to watch does not mean these are the teams I think are going to be good. You can just watch them for bad. For example, let's start from the Pelicans. I'm not going to go in any particular order. Last year, the Pelicans finished 34-48. They made a big trade after the All-Star break for DeMarcus Cousins, and that did jack squat. Cousins partnered up with Anthony Davis. You got two big men, traditional old school basketball, with nobody giving the ball. This year, they got Rajon Rondo. So, Rondo's out for the next 6 weeks. And when he comes back, I think the Pelicans could still be in the conversation because last year they just finished outside. Oh, no, they didn't just finish. The Nuggets just finished. The Pelicans were way out of it. But they were close. But this year, when Rondo comes back, because the NBA season really doesn't start until Christmas anyway, Rondo makes a return. He gets these guys the ball. I've got the Pelicans finishing at best in 7th place. It's not terrible, but it's a step in the right direction. Although, I think if they start off shaky and they start off terrible, look for DeMarcus Cousins to be traded again. And this time the trade could involve the Cleveland Cavaliers. Or maybe the Boston Celtics. Maybe they have the dark horse in this. Or the Los Angeles Lakers. There are going to be teams that's going to give up the house that feel like they can win either this year or next year with DeMarcus Cousins. I don't think you can win with him. I just think he's a real good player. But I don't think you could turn him into a winner. I think he's like a much better, he's a more athletic Zach Randolph. Great baller, but you're not winning no ring with him. The Houston Rockets, they got Chris Paul teaming up with James Harden. Is that a smart move? 2 guys in the backcourt. So for the preseason, it shows. I don't really see them doing a whole lot. They finished the 3rd last year. I got them full in the 6th. Because all they got is Chris Paul and James Harden. It's not enough in the West, kids. It's not. Especially when OKC has 3 All-Stars. These guys can slip up and win 45 games easily. And I think Carmelo Anthony fits in any system. As long as he has a team he can play for. Carmelo's going to play his part. He's going to shoot the ball. He's going to play the 4. He's going to get banged up, but he's going to play his part. It's up to Paul George to play his part. Because Paul George has never played with this type of talent before. In the Olympics, maybe, but this is different. You know, Olympics is about kind of having fun. This is where the checks come in. But yeah, I got Houston finishing 6th, man. My other team to watch, the Milwaukee Bucks. I only picked 2 East Coast teams because I got the Cavaliers going back to the finals. Because if you look at what teams have added, yes, I have a legal pad. If you look at what teams have added, the Cavaliers added Derrick Rose, who I watched last night. That kid can still go. And he doesn't have to be the man because he has the man in the world. So you got Derrick Rose. You added Isaiah Thomas. Same thing. A guy who finished 4th in scoring last year. And then you add Dwayne Wade, who's going to sit for at least half the year. And then, boom, they turn it on. You got LeBron James. You're going to the finals. And being that Washington has added nobody, Boston added Gordon Hayward, they added Kyrie Irving, but outside of that, squadoosh. And then if you look at the rest of the East, it's nothing. Milwaukee returns with the same young group of guys. They didn't really add anybody. If you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, last year they finished 42-40. I think this year everything clicks. The Greek Freak just turns it on, and I think Milwaukee this year finishes in 3rd. So who does that knock out? The Toronto Raptors, who I think is stagnant and boring, and I wish we'd just never be seeing them ever again. And then wrap it up with these 2 teams I gotta go beyond. I got Washington finishing in 2nd. I think this is the year John Wall, Bradley Beal, and those group of guys just go Super Saiyan and put it all together. Last year, you can kind of see it start to mold. They finished in 4th last year. This year, I think they take that extra leap. Boston's going to take a seat back. Kyrie Irving is not leading them to number 1 spot. They're not going to finish 2. They're going to finish 3. I got Boston finishing underneath the 2 teams I told you. I got Washington finishing in 2nd, going to the Eastern Conference Finals and losing to the Cavs. So that'll be a step up for Washington. Finally, the team to watch, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Last year, the Timberwolves did not make the playoffs. They finished 31-51 with that young group of guys. This year, they added some veterans. This year, the Timberwolves added Jimmy Butler, Jamal Crawford, and Taj Gibson. Those guys they can go. And you have a situation where you got now a scorer, a very good defensive player off the bench, and the best 6th man in the last 20 years of the NBA. So I got Minnesota finishing in 5th place, making some noise, shaking some things up, finishing ahead of Houston, and basically knocking the Clippers out the playoffs. I don't think the Clippers are going to make it. But that's the teams I think you should watch out for. I'll make this quick. Players you should watch. I had a different page. Players I think you should take a look. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, John Wall, Chris Paul, DeMarcus Cousins, and Anthony Davis as a pair. If, and I mean this, LeBron can win MVP this year. He might. He can win it every year, but he really can win it this year. I feel like if the Pelicans play great, Anthony Davis will be the reason. Anthony Davis is your 2018 league MVP. But that depends on how they play. So I'm giving MVP award to LeBron this year. Because I think this is the year he just goes, you know what, Cleveland, I love you. Let me show you what I got left in the tank as I go up to LA next year. Because this is the last year you got me in my crew. I don't know why I did the pause. But yeah, that's what I think Kyrie Irving's going to take a seat back. He's going to try too hard to be the man, and he'll notice, oh, it's really great playing with LeBron. I should just shut my mouth. But the teams Vegas has picked, we'll wrap it up with this, to win the championship. Golden State Warriors is the overall favorite, followed by the Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics. Somebody's been drinking when they made that pick. Spurs and the Thunder. Take Boston off that list, move the Spurs up, take the Thunder off that list, and in my opinion, I think you need to put the Timberwolves on there. I think they're going to be better. I really do. That's my team this year. The team I'm watching are the Wolves. Woo! Anyway, the NBA preview show, that was today. When we return, movies and video games, we're going to do it quick. This is Downright Sports. Movies, video games. The segment where I kind of get to relax a little bit and I don't have to do any research and I can just talk. I mean, I think I do that the whole show. quite frankly, but I do research for the topic. I do research for the must-know news, because even when I make mistakes. Anyway, the first thing I want to touch on, I watched the new Transformers movie. The last one was the last night, which we all know now is not the last one because they're making a Bumblebee spinoff, and I'm pretty sure Megatron and Optimus Prime is going to be back. Anyway, I thought it was great. I love the Transformers franchise, man. I think it's fantastic. I love that things just blow up all the time. I love the fact that it's just cheesy. It's great. And anybody that's like looking for more than that, you know, oh my God, the acting, like, come on, stop being real. There's a movie about machines from another planet. Enough said. So, tonight, actually, that's not what I was supposed to talk about. I didn't read my own damn script. Hey, that a blip on the blip. I was supposed to be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming, and I didn't finish it because I'm going to finish it today. I'm going to watch it from start to beginning today. Sean, if you watch this episode, just know I have an open mind, despite the fact I watched the first 20 minutes of it and I was ready to go to sleep. Enough said. But yeah, I'll take a look at that today. I'm also going to watch the new Mummy with Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise. If I was an actor, I want to be a combination. I want to be The Rock's body with Tom Cruise's acting and overacting with Tom Hanks' ability to transform into a serious role. Yeah, I think that's the world's greatest actor. Yeah, with a splish splash of Eddie Murphy's funny. It's not bad. Just serve that at Starbucks. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna take a look at those stuff today. And next week, maybe I'll let you know how it goes. When the podcast returns, but Call of Duty World War II is the first Call of Duty to take place in the past since World at War back in 2008. I am excited because I was getting tired of the future Call of Duty, all the future infantry and the robots. It was just getting too much. Just give us a story, who to kill, who's the bad guy, what do we want, and it's just classic America versus Nazis. Nothing more evil than that, kids. There is no, well, the Nazis are misunderstood. No. This is a true good versus evil. America and the world versus the Nazis. Nobody was more evil than Nazis. And then if you even want to kill more Nazis, they were going to have zombie Nazis. And who doesn't love zombies? I don't. I will play it as long as my friends play it with me because I'm not playing it by myself. I'm hoping we can get my buddy Tim a PS4 or I get an Xbox One and Joe gets Xbox One so we can play this. I want to play this. I think it's going to be awesome. They got a campaign mode, which is sweet. Finally, a campaign mode is back. I'm interested in it. And I'm going to be all over it. I'm going to get it. It's the first Call of Duty I think I've bought in a long time. Yeah, I haven't bought a Call of Duty in a while, kids. So hopefully, the release date for this game actually is November 3rd. So it's the day after my mother's birthday. So decisions. Anyway, thank you for watching another Downright Sports. Like I said, I mentioned the podcast is returning. That's right. Because Downright Sports is going to take some time off a little bit. Let the sports world build up. And then I'll crap out a bunch of crap out my mouth. But the podcast will return. And I'll promote it as always. Pay attention to my Twitter. I'll put all that stuff at the bottom. Pay attention to my Facebook. I'll put all that stuff at the bottom. Pay attention to my Instagram. I will put at the bottom. All right. Thank you, everybody. Deuces.